Grazie. Thank you very much, Silvia. Thank you very much to all of you. So now in 2 minutes, we are going to start with the country presentation. I'm going to speak English. All the conferences will be in English. Of course, every one of us can understand English. So, as you can see from the graphics, we have 13 countries here present at the international exhibition Salone del Restauro. And today and tomorrow we will talk with our guests and talk about restoration in their own countries and the possible connections between the countries, the Italian experts, and the future cooperation of the Restauro made in Italy. As the director of the Italian Trade Agency said, export is their focus, and of course we are working in the promotion of the Italian companies in the field of restoration, experts, material, technologies, company itself, services for the valorization, for the knowledge, for the diagnostic. So all these expertise are ready to cooperate with the foreign country to start new challenges for the future. So I think that we can start with the country presentation, and the first country to present itself today is Turkey. If Turkey is here. Oh yes, of course. Muradye Simsek, she is representing the General Directorate of Foundation of the Turkish Prime Ministry Republic, and the General Directorate is managing all the religious Ottoman buildings in Turkey, and it is the most important organization in the field of restoration in Turkey. Together with Muradye, we have here with us today in this delegation the Deputy General Director of the VGM and the Regional Director of Istanbul. No, together with you. Okay. So, Muradye, it's up to you.
Thank you, Andrea. Could you please turn to back? Turn to first slide. This is not the first one. No. Yes. Back, please. These are in the middle. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Good morning, dear participants. First of all, I would like to thank ITA for this excellent and great organization. Many thanks to also Restauro for the perfect coordination and its valuable cooperation. I hope that the Ferrara Fair may conduce toward new inspirations, new relations, and useful cooperations for all delegations. My presentation aims to exemplify our institutions, Directorate General of Foundations, domestic and international experiences and cooperations focusing on the cultural heritage conservation. Okay, thank you. Before I begin my presentation of our cultural heritage works, I want to briefly mention about who we are, who is Directorate General of Foundations. Shortly, we can say DGF. DGF is a state institution established in 1924, just after the establishment of the Republic of Turkey. in order to continue and fulfill the existing foundation's activities at that time. Today, it is a special budgeted institution affiliated to the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. Its headquarters is in the capital city, Ankara. Under the headquarters, there are 25 regional directorates within the borders of Turkey. DGF continues its activities in accordance with the foundation's law. As the next one, as defined in the law, main duty is, this is the most important point maybe, main duty is to keep the charity conditions of historical foundations, which are written in their foundation charters. Keeping their own buildings is one of the most important duties as well, like conservation works. As you see in the slide, a foundation charter is the main document for a historical foundation. Besides charity conditions, buildings and other properties or incomes donated to the aim were registered there. Employees, their duties and incomes were also registered in the charters. The first foundation charter in Anatolia dates back the year 148. DGF has a rich archive in Ankara in which foundations' manuscripts are kept. According to archive registers, today more than 21,000 foundation heritage buildings exist in Turkey. Besides, thousands of Ottoman foundation heritage buildings are still survive in 22 different countries. DGF puts a great effort to preserve domestic foundation heritage buildings. Since 2003, DGF has restored about 5,000 heritage buildings. 5,000. Today, more than 100 ongoing restoration works are managing and financing by DGF. I want to mention about our ongoing restorations, meanwhile. Within the ongoing restorations, Hagia Sophia Grand Mosque in Istanbul and its annexes can be exemplified. 5 Ottoman tombs now in front of the mosque, traditional primary school, and Muvakkitane building, it's a traditional name, are now in progress in conservation process. The restoration started at the beginning of 2022 with the project works, and it will end within 2 years. You see the tombs are under conservation now. The next one. Yes. Considering the foundation charter decision of Fatih Sultan Mehmet Han, the conqueror of Istanbul, Hagia Sophia was reconverted into a mosque in 2020 with a careful adaptation. Next one. In the image, at left, Muvakkitane building, and 4 tombs are seen at the right. Next one, please. Yes. Another important restoration is still continuing in Selimiye Mosque in Edirne, the city Edirne. Selimiye is the masterpiece of Mimar Sinan, who is the most famous Ottoman architect, lived in 16th century. The mosque is one of the World Heritages of Turkey. The restoration has started in 2021 and will end within 2025. In total, 3.5 years. Next one. Yes, the main large dome at left, which is supported by 8 pillars, offers a spacious prayer space inside. The inner space is also well lighted thanks to the large and multi-window facade order. Around the mosque, the next one, please. Around the mosque is a large garden. On the top right image, you see the courtyard with robots may be seen. Okay. Another example, Divri Grand Mosque and Darüş Şifa Complex this is another important World Heritage building in the city Sivas. Two buildings are connected to each other alongside a wall. The complex building has famous three main gates, very famous three main gates. Two of belong to the mosque section, and the third one is on the hospital side. Main gates are well known with their unique stone masonry masterpieces, as you know. Okay. Since 2015, this important building has been restoring and monitoring with the support of scientific supervision. In 2020, the temporary roof was designed and constructed. The restoration will end in 2024. Next one. In these images, you can see some details from the building. Okay. DGF also handles considerable restoration works abroad. One of those in Albania, in Shkodër, in the city Shkodër, Kurshunlu Mosque. It is the only domed mosque with a courtyard surrounded with rivaks on three sides in Albania. In the past, the mosque was in a district. Okay, no. Back, please. Okay. And the river streaming nearby was in a distance from the district. In time, the change both in the riverbed and the stream mode have caused destructive floods in spring times. Then, this caused the district to be moved, so the monumental mosque left alone. In order to protect this important heritage, the DGF has begun a cooperation with the Albanian Ministry of Culture. The cooperation covers both restoration of the building with its closed environment and also to construct a flood wall to keep it from yearly floods. The restoration will take 20 months. Okay. Selimiye Mosque in Lefkoşe, in Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, is another restoration work held by DGF. The building was built in 13th century as St. Sophia Cathedral. In 16th century, the cathedral was almost in a ruin. After conquest of Cyprus by Sultan Selim Han during the Ottoman period, it was converted into a mosque with a great rehabilitation and was donated in Sultan Selim Han Foundation. Selimiye Mosque restoration has started in 2019 and will end 2023. I want to mention about our completed works in some examples. Galata Tower is the first one. Galata Tower was built in 14th century by Genoese as a watchtower for military purposes. After the conquest of Istanbul in 15th century, it was donated to Kule-i Zemin Foundation by Fatih Sultan Mehmed Han. Galata Tower is one of the most significant and symbolic heritage buildings of Istanbul. Every year, it is visited by thousands of tourists. In 2020, the tower was restored and renovated with a contemporary museum understanding. All the process, including project design and renovation works, have been completed just in 3 months, thanks to a professional site management. Yes, thank you. Mihrişah Valide Sultan İmaret. Imaret is a kind of public building in Ottoman period. It is a 16th century building. It was built to make and distribute a fresh meal to the poor people. Its function has been continuing today without any interruption. The Imaret was restored between 2017 and 2020. It took only 44 months. Yes. Atik Valide Complex, this one, is another interesting example for our restorations. The complex is one of the masterworks of Mimar Sinan again. It is located in Üsküdar, that is Anatolian part of Istanbul. Next one. The great complex is composed of a mosque, medrese, imaret, hospital, dervish lodge, caravanserai, guest house, and a Turkish bath. The complex was restored with adaptive reusing between 2011 and 2018. Now it is used by Fatih Sultan Mehmet Foundation University. The university is also established by DGF, using with the Ottoman Foundation's incomes as a financial source. Next one. Yes. Enes Fatih Mosque is a 12th century Byzantine building. Initial function was a church. In 15th century, it was converted into a mosque. As the building is in a seismically active area, it has affected many times from earthquakes in time. Because of an earthquake, the main dome and the minaret collapsed in 1962, and then the whole wooden roof system. The deterioration gradually increased until 2000s. Then, in 2015, DGF prepared restoration and reconstruction projects depending on series of structural diagnosis, material analysis, and 3D modeling with the help of a special consultancy. The main principle on conservation of the partially collapsed building has been preserving the healthy parts and restoring the rest of the building without spoiling authentic space perception. The project designed and approved in only 1 year. Then the careful restoration has been completed in 5 years in 2021. Now the project is nominated to Europa Nostra Award. Okay. Another example of DGF's works from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Sarajevo Islamic Community Headquarters. The existing building was constructed by the Islamic community in 2000. Unfortunately, because of the lack of financial source, it was incompletely by 2010s. Within the cooperation signed in 2018, the construction completed by DGF, starting with the revival of the project design. Yes, this is before. Next one. Okay. The graphic shows the rise in DGF's yearly expenditure for heritage conservation with Turkish prices. First, conservation work abroad, according to the graphic, was in 2014. Since 2014, within the last 8 years, there can be a considerable increase in DGF's budget spent for conservation works. It can be understood from the graphic that domestic restoration expenditure doubled from 40.8 million euros to 31.5 million, while the restoration expenditure abroad climbed up to 21 million euros from almost zero. The next one, please. Thank you. The conservation and understanding of DGF bases on fundamental international conservation principles, knowledge, respect to the building, and paying attention to keep the significance of the building. In addition to this, DGF also emphasizes to be a leader on conservation field in Turkey by means of collaborative works using new technologies and innovative conservation methods. As an example for extraordinary collaboration and transfer of new technologies to Turkey, we can briefly mention about MEDART project. The cooperation project was between DGF and also Restauro. It was included in the restoration of a small heritage building in Istanbul, trainings for DGF's technical staff, both in the work site and in some other work sites in Italy, and an international scientific symposium on heritage conservation. These are the before, during, and after restoration images. the image from the last event, symposium, and the inauguration. Yes. Next one. Okay. Another collaboration example of DGF was preparing a guideline for management of earthquake risks on cultural heritage buildings. The project had 2 phases. In the first phase, we collaborate with Restauro to translate the Italian guideline into Turkish. We called this part of the project MEDAR 2. In the second part, a Turkish scientific committee has prepared Turkey's guideline with a great cooperation. Following lots of meetings, workshops, and a site visit, in the final, we organized another international symposium on heritage conservation. The final outputs of the project were the guideline and the digital proceeding books. You see the guideline image. Yes. Previous one, please. Yes, thank you. The last international cooperation was MEDAR Turchia. The project was, again, between DGF and Restauro and focused on another common heritage building in Istanbul, İmrahor İlyas Bey Mosque. Within the project, some diagnostic studies, documentation, and both structural and material tests have been done on site. The conservation methods has defined. The results have been shared with DGF into 2 ways. First, with DGF's technical staff via webinars, then the results has been delivered in a hard copy report. Okay. Yes, you see some images. And yes, DGF believes that cultural heritage is a bridge connecting us to our common past with this project. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Muradia. It is very, very good to recall the last 10 years of cooperation together, Restauro together with the General Directorate of Foundation. It was 2010 when we first met with Olcay Aydemir in Restoration Week, and since then we have never stopped cooperating with each other, translating, as you said, the translation for the guidelines for the seismic risk, the Sheikh Suleiman Mosque, which take 3 or 4 years of work, starting from the design to the final stage. Now the İmrahor Mosque, and we hope that the future will be also good for us for our cooperation.